Okay, the meeting will come to order. It's a regular meeting of the East Haddam Planning and Zoning Commission, May 10th. Can I have the attendance, please?
Curry Brownell, absent. James Curtin,
Here.
Richard Pettinelli, absent. Justin Anderson, absent. Bernard Gillis,
Here.
Ed Gubbins,
Here.
Louis Salicrup,
Here.
Susan Kinvin,
Here.
and Deborah Langdon.
Here.
Okay, so, let's see. I don't know, do we know who's not coming? Is Rich coming, or?
I haven't,
Anything about that before?
no, no.
Okay, Sue, you want to take over Crary's vote tonight, and Deb, you can take Justin's, let's say, let's from now, and let's see who comes in. Okay. And our recording secretary is,
I think taking it from the online.
okay.
I hope. But good thing about this is they can do it tomorrow if they had to.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
You get jammed up, you know?
Perfect.
Okay, we have the minutes of the previous meeting, the April 26th meeting is what I have, so. Okay, Rich, what do you mean? Let's see, I had a few little things. On the first page there, under 3, the minutes. The second little paragraph, I guess it is, page 2, it was under, Mr. Pettinelli looks for the status of the referendum, should read, Mr. Pettinelli asks for the status of the referendum. And it just says status referendum. So of the should be between status and referendum.
You're at the,
I'm on the front page right there, under minutes. It
oh,
was from
Got-
last meeting's minutes.
I got you under, you're right. Of, yep, gotcha. Yep,
And
Yep.
the, on page 3, bottom of the page, the last few lines there, one is, commission can come and inspect if they deem it necessary instead of the. And I'm asking about this, the last line said minor impact home occupation and major impact. I mean, are we talking major impact, or there is no major, it's just moderate?
it's moderate,
Okay,
yep.
so that should be moderate, not major. And on the next page, that's the same issue on the second paragraph. It says minor, moderate, or major, there is no major, right?
Right. Yep.
And then the third paragraph down, potential changes are discussed. In summary, an AN should be instead of in office. An office can have 2 employees under it. And then under open to the public, the last line says, Mr. Kasner is also, should say suggesting instead of suggested. Okay. Being careful, anyway, just the way it was worded, that's all I had.
You didn't make the motion. You didn't make the motion to continue, did you? You asked for
Yeah,
it.
I asked for it probably, but that's okay. I see
Yeah.
that's the way I don't think it's critical. You can make motions, the chairman normally just asks for them, I think.
Yep.
That's all I had. Anybody else?
Yeah, page 2, first paragraph, it was me, Mr. Salicrup asked if the East Haddam residents, because of the needs stated in the OCD, would have priority to the affordable housing. That was my question.
Which line do you want?
First paragraph,
Oh,
page
okay. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Lou, anything else?
no, that's it.
That's it? Okay.
The
Sue?
second line of that same paragraph, it should say, Mr. Venture stated he was not aware of any statute.
No. Pick up on that one, okay.
Let's see, what else did I have? And on page 4, I would strike the line that says minor impact home occupations do not have to send out certified mail, since it's stated in the second line of that paragraph.
Okay, and where are you on that?
And then if, following that line, if the application is presented for public hearing, which a special section requires, they would need to fill out an application and submit a fee payment.
Okay, anybody else with any additions or corrections?
No.
Okay, so we will accept the minutes as amended. Moving on to the bills.
I have no bills.
Moving on to number 5, acknowledgements. What do we have, Jim?
Well, first time in a long time, he's got an actual subdivision. It is on the corner of Sarah Baker Road and West Road. All the way, I mean, West Road really, on one side is Salem, and the other side is ours. It's 3 lots. I Friday dropped off the plans, the drainage calculations, and all that to Jacobson. They are going before the Wetlands Commission. Field walk is actually tomorrow, and they'll be before the Wetlands Commission next week. They have no wetland impacts shown on the plan and had a soil scientist flag it. But we'll go out to see to make sure. This could be ready for a public hearing for, is it June 7th? I wrote down.
I wouldn't mind a question. The lot lines already established, or this is all part of the application?
It's
Lot lines for
subdivision.
the houses.
Well, yeah, the lot lines are, it's their
That's what they're
proposal.
proposing.
That's part of the.
Proposal,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So you don't think anything's in the wetlands?
No, it's, yeah, I've been on that site before. It's up top of the hill.
Right.
We've done wetland flagging on the adjacent property when it came to us a long, long time ago. And the wetlands are at the toe of the slope, at the bottom.
Yeah, they're on the bottom.
Yep.
That's Burnham Brook right there, huh?
It's a little portion of it, yeah.
Okay, anybody else with any comments about it before we accept the acknowledgement and set a hearing date?
Are there any existing structures or anything
I think so.
No, it's,
Open land, right?
open?
yeah.
Anyway, what'd you have in mind for a date for this one, Jim?
I did the 7th, but I'm double checking on that. Yeah, no, June 14th. June 7th is the first Tuesday of the month, so it'd be June 14th.
Rich, anything else before we set a date?
Wait to see what the engineer comes back with, but the rain gardens don't have any, like, detail.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion that we set a hearing date for June 14th?
I'll make a motion, we'll set a, hearing date for application 2201 West Road, Sarah Baker Road, residential subdivision, Integrity Properties Group for June 14th.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded by Susan. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The date is June 15th. And on to B is the cannabis regulation and moratorium status.
So, hopefully everybody got in the mail a copy of our last attempts, where we kind of, on the first page, took out cultivators. But also I attached to it our previous proposed amendment, which for a temporary and limited moratorium. And my recommendation is to set a public hearing for June 14th to not only discuss the regulations based on the vote, you know, and where we are with the regulations and the discussion at the end of the night, leave yourself the option to extend the moratorium to fully vet the regulations.
Yeah, because we've got the June 15th, so something has to be done right there.
Yeah.
And even if we were acting right there, you still have a couple weeks in between and all that, so we really probably need an extension.
Correct.
But do we need an extension before June 14th? Because if we,
Yeah, what happens if there's a vote?
no, what if, so if we extend on the 14th, does it take effect on the 14th?
take
Or do
effect.
we need a 2-week?
No,
Okay.
It takes effect when you vote.
it takes effect on, from the 15th on. Yeah.
You're sure about that?
I actually went through it with Matt. He says, "Where are you with this? What are you doing?" You know, and told him the game plan, and he says, "No, that's perfectly fine." He said, "It wouldn't be fine if you've done nothing." He said, "But you guys are actively working on it."
And our extension doesn't have a waiver.
Okay, so the extension is for, do we have a concept of how long? We talking 2 months? What are we talking?
Well, let's see what. First.
All right, so that's.
First, we got to see if there's a positive or negative vote.
there you go.
There's
That'll
number
solve
one.
everything for us very
That
quickly.
vote doesn't, like, make us have to have it right then. We can still have, we can
No,
still.
because our moratorium still goes to the 15th.
All right, good.
Correct.
Well, we're close, but we're not quite there yet.
But you've been actively working on it, so it's, we did the same thing when we were doing the subdivision regulations, and we were looking at stormwater way back in 2003. We had a temporary moratorium, and we had it for 6 months, and we bumped it for 3 because we thought we needed that much more time to hold the public hearings.
So we don't have to go the whole 6, we could,
Yeah, you could,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion to set a date for the review and discussion and decision on the extension for the moratorium, correct? Is that how we need this?
Correct.
All right. So anybody want to make a motion relative to that?
I make a motion, we set a public hearing for June 14th to discuss the proposed cannabis regulation, section 32, and possible extension of the moratorium.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion about it before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, so, sounds good. We're set with that. Anything else under comments you have? No? You didn't have anything else?
No.
Okay. Okay, site plan review has nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, and then under regulation discussions, we're on to campgrounds.
Did you have a meeting or not?
No, we didn't have.
Oh, you didn't, okay.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, well, I
Having
kind
any
of,
discussion on cannabis, I take it. We're not having any discussion on cannabis.
You can if you want, I mean, you're set a public hearing, but if there's something that needs to be
Well,
brought
I was
up.
just under definitions, you have under cannabis establishments, you have delivery service and transporter. Is it supposed to fall under that? All they are doing is picking it up at the dispensary and bringing it to a person's home, right?
Delivery,
Cannabis establishment.
there's
Do we wanna-
several different
Do we wanna
delivery.
label them as a business?
oh, I see, under cannabis establishment. So this is taken right out of the statutes.
That's one of their definitions, the
Yes.
state? Yeah.
So they obviously have regulations relative to it and all that, it's licensed, there's a bunch of stuff to it.
So-
It could be a business of
Should we
somebody in our
regulate that
town.
as a town business?
It could be a business, somebody might be a delivery service, doesn't
Like
mean
an
they're
Uber,
delivering to
like
here.
I mean, is that licensed by like the home meats or whatever that is? That distribute groceries?
So you're using your home address as,
I don't know,
As the
do they
delivery
register in their
service?
town? How's that work? Uber Eats?
Well, we'd have to look it up in the, statute, I guess.
Because that's I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a lucrative business.
Well,
I don't know how that's regulated.
These are edibles.
Right.
So if you go to their definitions, just a person who's licensed to deliver, period.
yeah, it just caught my eye that it's not an establishment, it's
you own a truck and you can do that.
Yeah.
but
I guess
you're not doing it, you're not storing it at your
maybe
house.
the truck is theoretically the establishment or something, I don't know.
I think you're gonna run a route, but the thing is, under home occupations, whether, there's a limit on the trucking that we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
may fall into,
Yeah, just gotta, it's,
well, that would mean that you are then a business that has to be either in the industrial park or something. I mean, it depends on how big,
I mean, what about Uber?
So-
People drive Uber in town, are they registered with the town?
why don't you answer that, no?
So they're just registered with the state? I don't even know who they're registered with.
I don't know, we'd have to,
Yeah,
their licensing is probably pretty strict, Jim.
Or DoorDash. Who
You wanna
licenses
review that, what the licensing for that
Is
is?
that by town?
'cause
No, but I'm talking
I
about
can't.
Oh, it's the same as
Yeah, but
everything
I can't
else.
believe they're not spelling out every little thing.
Oh, they do,
Yeah.
they do, but the question is, do you want that in the front? You know, the following types of establishment, do you want delivery, you know, listed as, you know, as part of it?
Well, we've
Delivery
listed
service or
everything
transport, we listed everything, but
but cultivated.
yeah,
That's the one thing, but a delivery service is like a little trucking company or van service or something, I mean, you could have it in the industrial park or anywhere, what does that matter?
I'm just wondering, is, you know,
Yep.
how is that regulated? Is
it's
it
another,
just
it's another, it's another regulated,
This is another kind of a thing they threw in there, like DoorDash. How does DoorDash go? I know they go out of Colchester, but are they registered in Colchester or? I don't know how that works.
it's probably what they're doing is they're registering DoorDash out of their main corporate office, and everybody's a subcontractor to them.
Right.
So you don't know if they work for DoorDash or not, because they don't put DoorDash on it, their vehicle. It's not like they buy, you know,
East Haddam DoorDash stash, you know,
Yeah.
DoorDash your stash.
No, I don't think there's any registration, because I know a Uber driver, and he gets calls all times of the day, and he goes. And,
So that's something we shouldn't,
and he,
Just
I don't
Oh,
think he's registered with the town or anything.
or offline.
Oh,
Oops.
What happened?
that just suddenly happened?
I just got somebody email me.
They emailed us with the good news.
Somebody's watching this?
Probably the, lady that writes the notes.
right?
You mean somebody actually sits home and watches this?
I think the
Well,
lady.
she's probably
that
taking
writes-
notes and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
They need a hobby bad.
I do.
I've never
I'm
watched
retired. I
one
got
of our
nothing else
meetings,
to
I've never watched it. I don't know.
Go ahead, Rich.
Because I'm usually here, so. Let's see, what else?
I'll start throwing my cups out and pass your house to and from work.
I was
Give you-
wondering,
give you
those
something to
nips.
do.
Are you the guy that throws the nips out in front of my house?
Please, be the leader. I got a 35-minute commute.
We thought you were doing all that to Rick.
I know. Eric
I
Smith's
thought those
like,
were coming out the front door.
Eric Smith's like, God, you're way ahead of me.
So you want the good news or the bad news?
We've just adjourned, is that the good news?
The good news is, we probably can work on what we wanna work on here.
But we have to take notes.
No, but at the time of the public hearing, there will be no public hearing, cause it shut down on its own at 7:30 for no reason at all. And anybody who wants to participate in the public hearing won't be able to. And I actually had somebody who responded that said they'll be watching this afternoon. So, in fairness to them,
Never had
We're
somebody.
good, we can get out of here before 8
Motion to
o'clock.
adjourn?
so,
Let's, there is
Motion to
some,
You
adjourn?
still get your paycheck.
for instance, I do have a couple of things on this, so the cannabis thing, on
Yep.
page 3, the last line, the way that's worded, I don't know, is that, I've read it a few times, not sure what they're saying there, but nothing in this section 32 shall be construed to allow the use of cannabis or allow any activity relating to the cultivation or consumption of cannabis that is otherwise not expressly allowed in the East Haddam zoning regulations or is illegal under state law. That can't be correct, right? It should be legal, right?
no, illegal. So when someone
saying?
sits here and says, the town of East Haddam goes ahead and says that you can sell it and you can use it in the town of East Haddam, right? In the statutes, it says that you can't use it in the state parks. So that's how, that's how it was
So
written
that's
up.
what you're saying, okay, cause
Yeah.
I just put a question that.
So if there's some other part where it's illegal, don't use the town of East Haddam's regulations as your, you know, get out of jail card free.
So that begs the question, can it be delivered if you're hanging out in the park?
So
Yes, you just can't use it in the park.
It just
I
gets
had
consumed.
two comments.
Yep.
On
Well, can you?
B3F, impact to traffic. For applicants in which no similar use can be determined, the applicant shall submit blah, blah, blah. Why are we opening it up to he said, she said of it's similar or not? ITE says it's not. It gives its own category. So I think we should just strike that first clause.
Yeah,
Getting this.
I agree with that.
Where are you again,
Okay.
Rich?
This is
Three-
first
so-
page
so
and
now-
second page under F.
Okay, so this is just strike the whole,
For applicants in which no similar use can be determined, strike that. The applicant shall submit.
okay,
Okay, yeah.
And then
yep,
under D prohibition, under 2, the last line, cannabis trade shows or public cannabis events are prohibited unless authorized by state law. And approved by this board? So somebody comes in and they're gonna have a big trade show because that's allowed.
Right.
We still wanna take a
Yes, I agree.
whack at a special event, right?
Good catch. They're bypassing local. That's,
Right.
that's not good.
Yeah, and we regulate, like,
Absolutely.
you know, Chick Day.
Absolutely.
So what
Say
would your
that again.
change be?
Well,
You
like
would
any
end it
event.
after
In other words, the
prohibited?
event is
No,
allowed by state
unless
law.
authorized by state law and approved by,
Yeah.
basically
Oh, okay.
approved by
Right,
us, right?
Or we're.
okay,
Or
two,
approved by
you're
special
at two.
exception or something.
Right.
Yeah, again, I just see that as an event, which we regulate everywhere else.
Correct. No, good catch.
So you're saying by the state law and the zoning regulations and town
Zoning,
ordinance?
yeah,
Local,
the
yeah.
zoning commission or
regulations,
something like
okay.
that.
And in accordance with the zoning regs, okay. I did have one more.
Now,
What
do
you
you
got? Anything
want it
else
to
for-
say
No,
P and Z or land use? I mean, it's P and Z, right?
No, it's zoning regulations.
Zoning regulations, that pushes them into a special exception for events.
I did have a question on the definitions, that when you get to the last three there, there's two of them are transport. What's the concept behind the two transport definitions? I didn't get that.
Oh, I'll look at, like I said, I copied it out.
That's what the new bike path is for, backpack, bike.
So, I mean, I just was, I didn't
Yep.
see what they had two in there for, but anyway, okay, so, anybody else with anything? Well, are we in agreement,
Those are the licenses that they give out.
are we in agreement that we're dumping cultivator?
Yes.
Okay, so good, I agree, that's so big, I couldn't think of
Because they
any
don't
place
have
we
any
would
place to
want it.
go.
Yeah.
Or that it would be acceptable that big.
Right.
Because the 15,000 is the minimum gross space
Right.
plus all the rest of it.
Let's
would
keep
be
it simple and
gigantic.
just say no.
And that's the minimum size you can have.
What about the micro cultivator?
Well, that's at
Yeah, that's
least somewhere in the
2,000 to-
ballpark, that's still big.
But it doesn't mean they have to be a 2,000?
No,
No, 2,000 or
they're
less.
minimal.
Or 15, right?
Yeah, total, by the time it's all said and done and they ask for extensions, it could be up to 15, but it
Right.
starts 2 to 5 and then they can get another 5 and they can get another 5.
And the thing is, nobody's granting anybody an
Microculture
extension
cultivator.
unless there's no problem.
No more than 10,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
In
have.
other words, if we have that operating anywhere in town and they're coming out for, oh, we wanna get bigger, well, you better have no problems, because if you got problems, you're not getting, even the state's gonna say, well, you've already had these issues, you know, they're not gonna make you bigger.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't
Keep
think,
it simple. Just say
you
no.
know, you're gonna have a clean bill of health or you're not getting bigger, that's for sure.
How does this compare to a brewery, you know, kind of the regulations we have about breweries and that?
Night and day. Yeah,
I'm just talking about the regulations.
yeah, no, it's, yeah. The regulations are 270 something pages associated because of all the criminal acts and all the other stuff that go with it. It just goes on and on and on and on, where brewery is like a one-pager in the statutes.
Cause I can see this, right now, of course, it's an emotional issue, it's new, it's just coming off of prohibition. So of course we have that, but I can see this coming down to being like a brewery or a winery. You know? Years to come, not now.
Yeah, that's a ways to go.
Well, I
It's
don't
gonna
know
have to
how
function
many
really
years.
well before we're,
Do they
Right.
bring
Get
out little
easier.
joints for you to try?
Yeah, it's one hits.
so anybody else with any more modifications for the cannabis thing that were obvious that we can do, or before we?
No, it'd be good to hear the public and,
Yeah.
Well, we have
See how
one more
the
meeting
vote goes.
beforehand.
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting.
what was that?
I'll be interested to see how the vote goes. I think it'll be-
Yeah, yeah, we all will.
I think we're all a little
I
interested.
hope, yeah.
When, do we have a date on that referendum?
24th.
24?
24th.
That's the same day we have the, affordable housing, VLCD.
Oh, same day, okay. Oh, that's all on the same one,
Yikes,
including the, track?
Yeah, everything's on it, yeah.
Well, that ought to be,
town.
should be a turnout there. Okay, so, next is, the thing we were talking about is parking.
And I haven't had a chance the last 2 weeks to work on that, so.
Okay. So anything that you had that you wanted to add to it? Rich, you're the parking expert apparently.
I mean, it was pretty,
And you're free, so I mean, you know, it's.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
you had to,
No, he gets paid as much as we do.
had to get that in there, that's your-
Same category. Anyway, okay, so you had nothing else? Okay, so,
But that's pretty simple, the changes that we're making, right?
Yeah.
Just the end islands and
But,
planting.
but I also wanted to, like I said, compare it to the Mutis thing and see what we've got
yeah,
there.
we don't create.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Opposing
don't think we wanna go with a big parking setback all
Can they
across town.
challenge that without going to a ZBA?
challenge what?
The parking regulations? Say, well, this doesn't
Can't
work for
do it
me, I
there.
wanna do it this way.
Under
Can they come
special
to us and-
You
exception,
gotta show hardship, so
special exception gives you a little bit of latitude to do things because of site conditions
Right.
and discussion. And that's where if they, can't meet the regulations under special exception, you've got a little bit of latitude.
So they could come plead the
They
case.
really can't go to ZBA for a hardship because that's just,
Self-reflective.
yeah.
I was just wondering if they can come plead their case to us, or does it have to go to ZBA?
Going to ZBA about parking is one of the
That's
most,
the hardship.
that's just
I
a fun.
needed more space.
Yeah, I need more or I want less or what, I mean,
Really big building that doesn't fit, so please give me, not really a
Get
hardship.
one handicap, because nobody's gonna go there.
yeah.
Okay, so we can't do anything on the public hearing, so the customary home occupation thing is dead, that's. the
We're
one.
gonna table it because
Yeah.
it's, and Linda just, texted our IT, but he said back, we're dead in the water, he can tape this maybe.
We did have one question on the handout.
Yeah,
Can we discuss that without a public hearing?
Well,
Yeah,
you just handed
'cause
it out, we just wanna clarify something.
yeah, this is a new
What,
material.
those weights on the trucks, those are lightweights. I mean, is that the range of lightweights? Because the only reason we say that is on the heavy duty, that's definitely lightweight. So we know that on the class 7 and 8, those are the
So-
lightweights.
Well,
What
so-
about the rest?
The problem is
The
that,
rest are not. That's why I'm like-
well, the problem is that the only real way we can, if you're gonna write a regulation, is I'm begging you to keep it to classes. Because it's easier for me to look up a vehicle if someone says, I wanna use this for my home occupation, does it meet the criteria? And I go online and it's a class 3, a class 4, class 2, whatever it happens to be,
No, we understand
we're
that.
good to go.
We wanna do that based on the class of the truck, but the point is that are these written down as, gross vehicle weights or the lightweight for the vehicle? Is that the range of lightweights in those classes?
I'm thinking
Cause it
that's,
is
I'm
in 8
thinking
and 7, but I don't know about these
By,
others.
by light, you mean empty, tar weight?
Yeah,
empty.
they're empty.
I think that's the empty weight, yeah. I think that's the only way you could do it.
Okay, well, okay.
No, you gotta go by GVW, that's the only thing, that's what's on the truck.
Gross weight,
Everything is done by GVW.
okay.
Well,
Well, where did you get this information from? This come from like?
pulled it off the web, just as much,
or something, or?
no, I mean,
They
I mean,
call
it doesn't really differ much different than what I sent
Well,
before.
producers might go with the lightweight trucks, but, you know, the point about lightweights is, and that's why they have these ranges, is what body do you have on them? So it varies a lot.
We gotta be careful that we're not getting into the realm of public hearing discussions here.
Well, we need clarification of this, or we can't even make sense of this when we come back to have the
Right.
public hearing.
But I think that
So-
what's been given to us is a tar or lightweight, and that's,
Oh,
So what I got there is the same as this just identified trucks. This gave you pictures, this identified trucks. I mean,
okay,
so now that I know that for public hearing, I'll see if I can get the authority on it, but,
well, you can
You know-
maybe call the state and ask them something, I don't know if you have a contact. That would be,
you know, it's right here, they took this, Federal Highway Administration, so I'll,
Use that as a source.
yeah.
it should be fine, but
I
okay.
mean, but they're consistent. The only reason I printed this was because there was, F-150, F-250s,
Yeah, ones that we recognize.
Right.
Yeah.
just so you had a reference point.
But I mean, what we have in the regulation that we have written so far is class 5,
No.
20,000 gross vehicle weight.
That's what we had, but we're in our proposal, there's.
That's the
other-
cutoff. 2 vehicles that
No,
size.
but we, in our new,
this has gotta be on the public hearing.
Yeah,
the home
okay.
occupation
We
thing.
gotta let it go.
Okay,
Yeah, we're proposing different classes. That's why we need to know for sure what these are, okay.
We should have that mailed to you, April.
sorry,
So, huh?
sorry.
Okay.
Let's get the report and get done before.
You want a record time, huh? Okay, so, we're done with anything, so we need to, make a motion to, continue the public hearing to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
So moved.
Okay, so I'll say Lou made it, and, I'll give Ed the nod for number 2. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay, we're good. Continued. And the next meeting is June,
May 24th.
oh, May, what am I doing? Yeah, May.
That's when the
24th. Yeah, 5/24.
public hearing, affordable housing,
Okay, yeah.
plan of conservation development,
That could be a
review.
Zoom meeting again, or they're coming here?
They're coming here.
Okay, so can you give out your, land use administrator report?
Real quick, the Mudas Auto Shop, what you former has opened.
Looks good.
The Cumberland Farms at the base of the hill, she's just finishing a project in Montville. So that's their next project to come through, so we should be seeing an application of that.
What's it gonna be?
It's gas station first, and I've talked to their engineer and said, find them the maximum amount of gallons per day they can put on that side hill, so that then they can talk to us about what they wanna do. Previously, it was only a garage, 50-gallon per day design.
What was the gas station?
When it was a gas station, 50 gallons per day, that's 2.5 employees.
Oh,
You know.
oh, the septic you're talking.
Yeah.
about. I'm like,
So,
Not more than that.
man, there's a gas station I never heard of.
huh?
You gonna do breakfast thing or coffee, food?
Well, it's all gonna be,
It's
you
a
know,
convenience store.
it's as good as the septic allows it to be. And, if you walk behind there, it's a little tough, but there are couple good test pits, and they didn't ever do anything else back then, cause they didn't need to, it's Gussie's.
But they're not talking about a sit-down restaurant.
Oh, no, but,
Convenience store
But-
takeout.
it escalates, it's one thing to sell just coffee, but it's another thing when you start putting donuts and other things and making sandwiches or, anything else that comes onto it.
I wanted to put tables out on the side,
Again, that's gallons per day.
but that would.
Yeah.
Okay, even outside
Even
seating.
the outside seating is, so, they've put together a complete site plan with the hopes of, doing those sort of things with some sort of window, but they're not there yet without the septic.
Yeah, no, that's critical.
That's the biggie.
Can you augment, like, with porta sands, if you wanna put tables out there? use porta potties outside.
As for special events, the health district will go, okay,
not
but on
in
a,
general.
on a regular basis.
To do a day tank.
Cause the
Have it pumped
7-Eleven
out
used to
daily.
have porta potties.
They do have them, not
They do still?
used to, they're still there.
Yeah,
And they're
They got-
actually used quite a bit, I can see
Right.
that.
Yeah.
so what's up with that?
They didn't want anybody in their bathrooms.
Right, but.
I get
is
that.
allowed?
Technically, probably not. But,
Well, that's kinda like what Lou was just asking.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, they, I think by statute, they have to be emptied once a week.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure they are being cleaned, it's not like they're not, but now there's septic systems across the street, right?
Yep, on the side hill.
Draining down toward Jim's house. I
Yep.
heard.
No, you got the river in between.
But it's a good thing we're not on the air.
Well, it's being recorded. Someone will just have to catch it later.
It'll be interesting minutes coming up here.
Yeah.
Okay, so, anybody else with anything about? What do you got, Jim? That's the end of it?
That's, yeah, they're that, and I mean, the Wetlands Commission is gonna go and look at the proposed 11 lot subdivision, but they haven't sent revised plans, and I don't think it's gonna be 11 when it's all said and done.
Okay, so were you at the meeting where they had the walkway?
No, I didn't, because my Wetlands Commission, which was supposed to be end at 7:15, we didn't get out of the woods until it was dark. I wasn't happy. Yeah, after we left you, it went downhill.
A lot of hiking going on, huh?
Yes.
Do we have maps of that walkway that's proposed?
Other than with that little flyer that was set with the little stars on it.
Yeah, it's
Which is
not a,
basic,
I mean,
they were essentially looking for feedback from the neighbors.
yeah, you were there too, that's right, yeah. I left early.
Or was-
Basically, this was a workshop and by invitation to the property owners within the district where that walkway is being proposed. And so we invited everybody who was a property owner in that area. And we got over 50% of the property owners were actually there. And so we got some good feedback from what, they were looking at, what they were thinking. And I think that everything else, they want more detail. They want to know exactly where it is, what's the surface gonna be, what's the width gonna be, and right now, this is all, we're working on putting that together. But at the next meeting, when we invite, probably the next meeting will be a general public, take a look at it. And at that time, we'll have that kind of.
How many crosswalks are they talking? Between, say, I mean, one at River Road, obviously, because you need to, if you're gonna put people down on River Road.
Yeah, and, but actually, right now, the only place well, there's actually two of them. There's gonna be one at the south side of the Palmer Warner property.
Okay.
Just because it's gotta flop over onto the west side, because we can't get by basically Miller's. And that area right through there. So and then the other, crosswalk would be back when you get to, Mount Parnassus.
Oh.
So there'll be a crosswalk there.
Oh, okay.
And, so that's where the plan is right now. There's just basically two of them. And that's so people can get back across, so they can go up Mount Parnassus and go out to the hot yard. So, but, the other one, the only reason it's there is basically because we've got to flop it over onto the west side of the road. All the rest of it goes down on the east side.
Yeah.
And goes all the way down to Rose Farm.
That wasn't what I heard. Oh, east side.
On the
Well, it's
majority
right in
of it
front
on
of
the east
Wolf's,
side,
it's gotta be
from
there.
Rose Farm to the Palmer property is basically, really to Staley's. And that's all gonna be basically on the
East side, yeah. Then you
Then-
cross over
Then we're gonna have a crossover, and then the rest of it will go down on the west side.
and then cross over to Shagbark.
And then there'll be a crossover.
Okay. And I think the issues that came up, generally speaking, were speeds, the difficulty of having crosswalks on a road with a lot of traffic, water concerns, the pooling that exists on
Oh, yeah.
Town Street and
that's a
what to
good
do
point.
with that water. And just a general, better concept as to what the Palmer Warner people want to do with the property that,
Oh.
moving forward. But it entails a large loop that goes all the way across the ferry and then up 154.
Oh, all the way down to the ferry?
Yeah,
Well, the path is what Bob
it's a,
has
it's a
described.
bike path.
After that, it could be signage or pavement markings and
Right.
sharrows
Yeah,
and
but
such.
you're talking about a pathway that goes all the way down River Road?
It goes down River Road to the ferry, then we're going
Wow.
over to the center of Chester, and then basically going to Haddam and going up 154.
But that's a,
Coming back across on Bridge Street, across the East Haddam Bridge, and then basically coming back up to Chester.
So it's.
but that's a
gigantic
route.
loop.
It isn't necessarily a
That's not an
separate
improvement.
infrastructure path,
It's just gonna be signage and
pavement markings
Oh,
and
okay.
such.
and pavement marking if there's
Oh,
enough
okay.
room on,
Oh,
on
yeah.
the existing blacktop. The other is basically an improvement.
Okay. Anybody else, before we adjourn? Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I'll shut the.
There we are.